Now I have to share the screen again. Oh, um,
You're right. We're back where we were.
all right, so you can see the screen.
Yes, we can.
Past experiences. I love you guys. Thank you. All right, past experiences. All right, past experiences, especially ones where they feel like that they have failed other people and themselves. They've not gotten the outcomes that they've wanted, or they've been ridiculed and shamed and blamed and guilted for trying something new. These can all influence that self-sabotage. Yeah. And again, the ego comes up and goes, oh my God, you've done that. Comes to our defense. Don't do that. You'll be ridiculed. So individuals who have experienced perceived failures may struggle with the self-sabotaging behaviors as a way to protect themselves from potential harm or disappointment. And I have an example here that, if a car accident survivor might experience anxiety and flashbacks impacting their ability to drive and causing like anxiety and emotional distress even years later. So this one experience can influence their daily life, and it can influence their relationships and activities, what they're going to do, what they're not going to do. It can even influence or stunt their growth, because they're so scared of what's happened in the past that they don't want it to do again. So they're never going to do it again. Even though they've gained so much wisdom and they're not the same person. Doesn't matter. The ego goes, no, danger. And so, if it gets to a point where it's stopping you from doing everyday things, you definitely go and seek some help and advice, therapy, whatever, something to overcome that, because it can be very debilitating. And so, how can we overcome that? So, we can start when we become aware of it, what it's doing, how it's stunting our growth. We can challenge these negative beliefs. Examine the beliefs, the thought processes that underlie your self sabotage. Are there negative beliefs about yourself, your abilities, or your worthiness that are driving these behaviors? And it's a matter of, again, just being aware of the thoughts going through your head, the actions that you're taking or not taking. And so just challenge these, get curious, and then reframe these negative beliefs. And if you find trouble doing that, I know there's a lot of people that can't get out of that negative groove. And so find, a counselor or coach or whatever to help you flip it over. Because wherever there's negative, there's always a positive, and vice versa. So what are you going to choose? Which one's going to rule? So replace these negative thoughts and beliefs and limitations with more positive and realistic ones. So cognitive behavioral therapy is really, really good. Having a counselor or having a mindset coach and sharing these techniques can be really effective for overcoming this part of self-sabotage. But it's being aware. What else? Lack of self-awareness. So basically 95% of the time we're all kind of working on autopilot, just doing the same thing, different day. And so some people may not even realize that they are sabotaging themselves, but they're still not where they want to get to. And they'll bitch and moan about it, but they don't realize that they're in their own way, that they've got the power to change it, because there's just that lack of self-awareness. or insight to their own behavioral patterns and motivations. So a big part of the work that I do is to guide you to living more consciously. So it's that awareness and taking action on the awareness. Being aware of your thoughts, being aware of what your triggers are, being aware of what you're not looking at, what you're resisting. Don't want to look at that. I'm busy over here. But when you become aware of it and face it head on and look at it with love and kindness, compassion, you can actually empower yourself to then create your own reality. Because how you act and react within the world depends on how you experience the world. And so, for instance, there might be someone who unintentionally offends others with insensitive comments, throwaway remarks, but they're totally unaware of the impact. And it could lead to strained relationships, or it could even end relationships, if the person takes it really offended, is really offended by it. And in my coaching, we go through the 4 agreements, which is amazing because one of those is, being mindful with the word. Don't take anything personally. And again, we gain the awareness of having strategies in place. But then it's the action that you take. No one else can do it. It changes your habits, changes your neural pathways, changes your reality. Like, it's so cool. And so how do we overcome this aspect of self-sabotage? Start becoming more aware. How you sabotage yourself. What's your language? What are you telling yourself? What are your actions? Are you actually mindfully talking or doing actions? Or is it just like autopilot? Yep, whatever. Is it a person? Is it a place? Is it a thing? Is it a weather? So pay attention to when and how these thoughts occur. And so journaling can be a really, really helpful tool for the self-reflection. And coming back to the ego that doesn't like to be doesn't like change, doesn't like to be challenged, doesn't like to be criticized. And so quite often I talk to my clients and say, at the end of the day, get curious. When did you feel challenged and how did you react? When did you resist change? You just were on the couch watching Netflix. When did you feel like you had to defend yourself? Because these are all aspects of the ego. So start identifying specific situations or triggers and emotions that lead to that self-sabotage. It just stop you in your tracks and go, nah, not doing it. And when we can understand the root cause, like that then can be cleared, it can be addressed. Therefore, you can step into and make the changes forward that you're wanting. So it can all be very empowering stuff if you get out of your own way. Yes, self-awareness, beautiful. Self-preservation. So sometimes we self-sabotage just to preserve our energy, to preserve our feelings. So sometimes we can engage in self-destructive behavior as a way to avoid facing uncomfortable or painful situations. So our minds, again, can start making up these amazing stories based on nothing. And we can talk ourselves out of avoiding something that may be for our best interest or for our growth, our expansion, to get out of our comfort zone. And your language might be something like, oh my God, there's too many people here. I'm going to get anxious. I'll have a panic attack and then I'll look ridiculous in front of everyone. So no, I'm not going to go. I'm just going to stay home. And so the sabotage here being is that connection is one of our human core needs. And when it's not met, if we keep to ourselves and keep in our houses, we can then start feeling isolated and lonely. And so how can we overcome this? We can practice self-compassion and have that realization that, yes, there could be 100 people there. And so baby steps, get into solution mode and go, okay, maybe I can take my own car. Give yourself permission to be there for 5 minutes or 5 hours. You can leave whenever you want. So be kind and compassionate towards yourself. And especially when you make mistakes or encounter setbacks, like again, it's just feedback. It's not an opportunity for self-criticism to come in and go, oh, berate, you're an idiot, I told you so. Because that will just perpetuate the self-sabotage and you're gaining proof. See, I told you. So treat yourself as you would a friend, offering understanding and support rather than harsh judgment. So if you knew that one of your best friends was, suffering from a bit of anxiety because there were more than 50 people there and, in the past she's not coped, be the support for her. Give her the permission to be okay, to leave if she wants to leave. Stand in your power. We always get to choose. We always forget that. Well, not always, a lot of the time we can forget that. What else? External influences can definitely be something that gets in our own way. We can self-sabotage. So things like peer pressure, society's expectations on us, or our family's expectations on us. Negative influences from other people can also contribute to the self-sabotaging behavior. So these external factors can shape an individual's beliefs about themselves, about how they should act, and their actions. So this can lead to that self-sabotage. So for an example, like you've got the peer pressure is a perfect example, right? Your friends might start smoking. They might not want to. They kind of feel like they have to because otherwise they'll be seen as, I don't know, a goody two-shoes or something like that. So they don't trust themselves because they want the acceptance of their peers. And so such external forces can shape our choices and override our own personal values and beliefs. And so how can we overcome that? Oh, here we go. So this is Claire. She's like an amazing client who, man, she was getting in her own way. And it was her family actually that was, or she was allowing her family to put a stop to her dreams. Like we spoke about what she wanted for herself, and she had this beautiful idea of being out in Merbu North, so on some land, doing this and doing that and blah, 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 blah. However, her son was still at home and not really working. And, she had other things, other people outside of herself that she found that she was allowing to stop. So her work, she didn't know if she was able to work from home. And so I just gave her a challenge to just ask the questions to get curious about it. And so we had that beautiful conversation in March this year. And she came up with the idea that in 12 months that she would have everything set up so that she would, buy some land and she'd be in Merbu North by March next year. However, she's there right now. She has just moved. So once she gave herself permission to honor herself and her dreams, and she got out of her own way, she organized that she's still in the same job but working from home. Her son's come with her, but he's going to actually go to the Navy over in the UK. she's got a beautiful network of friends and stuff there already. So she's got the support and stuff out there as well. Um, amazing story of just when you get out of your own way and stop, utilizing other people or external influences to stop your dreams from coming true. Like, the world is your oyster. It's amazing. And it blows my mind how quickly that just all, panned out for her. And it's so cool. So I loved working with her, and I check in with her all the time. And she's just going bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger. And it's just, yeah, amazing. But yeah, she just said to me, there is no way that I would have been able to have the balls to even, um, get curious about it and give myself permission to do it. But where she was just dying on the inside. And so, yeah, her whole life has changed, and it's just bloody gold. And I love that. So, yeah, external influences. So start creating accountability and beautiful support. And so this is about being mindful of who you're going to share your energy with, who you're sharing your goals with. So have trusted friends, have your beautiful family members, therapists that can provide accountability and support. So when we have someone there to help encourage us and check in on our progress, it can be really motivating. And I just had this conversation with a client this afternoon where I had said, I'm quite happy, well, not happy, but I'm more, I'm let myself down if it's just me. So for example, if I wanted to exercise, if it was just me going for a walk, I'd go, oh, no, it's windy, it's rainy, it's sunny, like any excuse under the sun, right? However, if I have an accountability buddy or someone to walk with, I will do it because they want the exercise, they want the support, they want the connection as well. So I am more likely to go and do the exercise if I have someone there with me. So pick your people, join support groups, seek out online communities. Like on Facebook, there's loads. You just need to type out what you want to do, and there's so many groups and beautiful, communities within the community, whether they're online or in person as well. And when you're working on a same goal and you have the same issues that you want to look at or the same goals that you want to achieve, like, it makes it so much beautiful, so much better. You share experiences and strategies with other people, and it can be really inspiring and empowering. So choose your people. And then I've just got this added one here because this is a new thing, you have to just practice. You have to practice being patient, and you have to persevere, because it's not going to happen just overnight. We're creating new habits, we're creating new neural pathways. And so breaking the cycle of self-sabotage is just a process that takes time. And so again, set yourself up to succeed and know that there are going to be setbacks. There's going to be days where you fuck it up. But treat yourself with love and kindness and go, oh my God, that's the old me. This is where I want to go. I'll let the ego take the wheel for a while, taking the wheel back. Persevere and keep working on self-improvement. Each effort to change is a step in that right direction, like that forward movement. But even if it doesn't yield immediate results, patience, persistence, perseverance. This is all about gaining the awareness, then taking the action for the change to happen, for you to be able to get into alignment with the kind of person that you want to be, to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Because for me, and I write about this in a chapter of the book that I was co-author in, it all just started because it was a New Year's Day and I thought, do I want to be in the same place this time next year? And then I looked at the year before and I went, fuck, I haven't moved and I'm miserable. And that for me was the catalyst. That was the realization that, oh my God, I need to do the work. I need to change. I need to break the habits. I need to get out of this cycle of just autopilot, of doing the same thing all the time. I wanted different results. And so you got to do stuff differently. So it's the awareness, the journaling. Be mindful of your inner talk. Be mindful of the actions that you're doing. Even if it's at the end of the day and you're reviewing your day and you go, oh gosh, well, I could have done that differently. The awareness plus action allows you to be in alignment with yourself, where you're going. And so overcoming self-sabotage often involves developing self-awareness. It's about identifying the underlying causes or triggers. So when you take note of the triggers that have caused you to not take any action, to self-sabotage, you can then build some strategies around, avoiding those triggers altogether, or some healthy ways to push through those triggers or clear them altogether so that they're not there anymore. No hurdles. It's about implementing the strategies to change the behavior, the thought patterns. And like I said, this may involve seeking guidance. We can do so much, but we don't know what we don't know. And so if you find yourself not moving forward anymore, ask for help through a coach, through a therapist. Practice your self-compassion. Like, it's not an opportunity for you to berate yourself. There's enough of that out there already. We want to lift our own vibration, right? Because that helps us to move forward. We want to set realistic goals. Meet yourself where you are at every single day. There are days where you'll feel like shit and tired and exhausted. And so don't go, yes, I'm going to run a marathon today, because you're setting yourself up to fail. Instead, just go, oh my God, I'm buggered. I'm going to read a book. I might walk around the block. But set yourself up to succeed. Develop healthier coping mechanisms. So again, when you realize and understand where your triggers come in, when you understand when your ego shows up, you can then talk it down, put a positive spin on it, thank it for the awareness. Oh my gosh, it's keeping me small. I don't want to be small. I want to grow. I want to expand. So thank you for showing me that. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm very defiant like that. So I love my ego because I go, fuck you. I'm not doing that. And so I hand it over to you to get curious. What are your excuses? I know what mine are, and exercise is a big hurdle for me. And like I said before, it could be it's too windy, it's too sunny, it's too perfect, it's going to rain, it's not going to rain. Like, my excuses are so bad. And so now if I go, yes, I want to go for a walk, if my ego comes in and goes, no, it's too, I just laugh now because I just go, oh my God, it's so funny. I'm aware of when it comes up. Sometimes it wins, but that's okay because I'm aware of it. So I go, yeah, that's okay. I'm making a conscious decision that I'm going to let the ego just take this one. The other thing that I ask you to explore is, what are your whys? So for me, so in the context of exercise, so I've never really, I'm going to touch wood, never really been sick or had any health issues. And so that's not a big driver for me. However, I would love to be fitter. And in the last couple of years, I had 2 frozen shoulders, so my arms have become weak. So I'd like to be stronger. So I want to just share with you Um, I'm just going to stop that share for a second, maybe. No, I'm not. I'm just going to share with you. I had a really difficult couple of weeks, and this was drawing nearer and nearer, but I didn't want to show up. I was exhausted. I was tired. I had so much going on, got stuff going on with my daughter, myself, all that sort of, there's a lot of old stuff that's coming back up that I'm looking at. But they're prime excuses for getting in my own way. And so even today, thoughts were crossing my head. Oh, I'll just put it off. I'll make it next week. I'll make up an excuse that something's come up. And so for me, what was my why? What helped me show up and actually turn up today, despite having tech difficulties, is my why. Because my why is bigger than me. I crave for a better world. I crave to be surrounded by beautiful, confident, loving, respectful, enlightened, emotionally intelligent beings. I want a better life. I don't want people to struggle. I want people to step into their power. My why is that I've spent over $100,000 on study, self-development, classes, skills, knowledge, on top of all the action and the trials and the failures that I've taken. For what? I've done it to help myself, but I've done it to help other people as well. My why is that I want to be an inspiration to my kids. I want them to be proud of me. I want to be proud of me. My why is to be congruent for my clients. If I didn't show up tonight, how can I get angry if my clients cancel on me in the last minute? My why is because people were coming. People wanted this. They showed interest. And I'm all about loving to share. Like I love teaching. I love sharing this stuff, right? But I was coming up with a load of excuses to reschedule, but it just didn't sit with my integrity. I was so aware of my excuses, my doubt. Oh my God, what if I'm just talking shit? What if people get off and just go, oh my God, that was a waste of 90 minutes? It's all just, is it the truth? Just the ladies in the attic creating these crazy stories, right? My ego going, oh my God, don't do that. Don't put yourself out there. Might get shot down. Self sabotage. Massive. Like it was just so, I can laugh about it now. So hilarious. And I didn't want my ego to win. That defiance. Hell no, I'm doing it. I want to grow. I want to expand. I do not want to be in the same spot next year. I'm sick of staying small. And so, they're my catalysts. They're my whys. So what are your whys? Do you even know how you self-sabotage? Like, what are some things that you self-sabotage? And so what are your excuses? How do you know that you're self-sabotaging yourself? What's the language? What are the actions you're doing or not doing? And so to overcome that, what are your whys? Why do you want to do that thing that you're stopping yourself from doing? Because it's got to be heart-centered. It's got to be big enough for you to drive. And there's got to be more than one, because sometimes one thing, like, I don't care if I have a better life, but I want my kids to know that they can be amazing because I'm leading the way. And yes, I just call myself amazing. Oh, someone in the waiting room who, right. And so what are your whys? What are you passionate about enough to push you past that ego? that little part of you. It's not the whole you, it's just a little part that keeps you small. To push past the uncomfortableness. And if you don't even know, like, call me. Let's figure it out. Because sometimes you don't know because the ego doesn't like to be like looked at and criticized. So we'll go, no, not looking at that, not looking at that. But let's get past that. Let's figure out what are you getting in your own way? And we can clear that. Our unconscious can be very, very sneaky. It can hide these nasty little limiting beliefs that keep us small. But it's very, very doable. But be aware, like this is where it's really important that you self-reflect with love and compassion so that you find out, what your weaknesses are. I don't really like to call them that, but that's where the gold is. That's how we know where we can put some strategies into place to overcome that so that we step into our truth, step into our love, shine bright. And so if you want more information, like please reach out because this is what I love because I know how fucking frustrating it is to get somewhere or be someone or, to be more of who you are and step into your whole truth and not knowing how to do it. So frustrating. And so book a call with me. There's a lot of different things that I offer. The 12-week soul alignment coaching is just divine. I love it. Very simple. I meet you where you're at. And then that can, expand into a 12-month coaching or whatever. But you don't have to do it alone. When you have the awareness that you want to be further along from where you are, but you don't know how to get there, reach out. If it's not me, someone, right? Because we all deserve to step into our amazingness, our awesomeness. We are all these divine souls that have come from source, from the divine itself, into these beautiful human vehicles, but our humanness gets in the way. Our society, our conditioning, the way that we've been brought up gets in the way. You're not worth it. You don't deserve it. Who are you to want abundance and happiness? Like it's craziness, right? They're thoughts that aren't even ours, really. We've kind of adopted them from other people. Oh, wrong way. And so I just want you to remember that breaking the cycle of self-sabotage is a very personal journey because we've all got our own different beliefs, our limiting beliefs, triggerers, our experiences. Everyone's path is unique. And so if you're wanting to move forward but don't know, just seek help and support. You find that self-sabotage is so deeply ingrained. I have one client and every second word is like, oh, I sabotage myself, I sabotage myself. And I said, stop. Because even that language is telling yourself that you're self-sabotaging. So it's being mindful of how you're talking to yourself. So a therapist, a counselor, a coach can provide the guidance, the support, the strategies, the tools. And especially, what I have to offer as well, it is tailored to you. Yes, I have a basic outline of what I want to share with you, and there's like 10 years worth of stuff that I want to share with everyone. But baby steps, right? Meet you where you're at. So go crazy. Yeah, quite often because I found for myself that my my negative emotions and all stuff from the past, I just carried with me. And so they were coming with me and they were stopping me from, stepping into my truth. And so I now have done training, and I love offering like a half-day personal breakthrough where we go through and clear these negative emotions. So start clean slate. And it's amazing. You just kind of go, holy crap, I feel so much lighter. Yeah. And so back to my motto, the pillars of all the work that I do is getting to know yourself. When you know yourself, you understand where that self-sabotage is coming from through your thoughts, through your actions. You gain the awareness, right? So that you can take action on changing that. Getting to like yourself, like honoring yourself enough to make the changes. And then you trust yourself in the process. You know that there's going to be down days, but you know that there's going to be amazing days. And celebrate those successes along the way. The more you do that, the more you lift your own spirits. And so, yes, please reach out if you want any support, guidance, anything like that. And so, can anyone kind of relate to any of those? Was there one of those topics that you kind of went, oh my God, I do that all the time? I'm handing it over to you now. Was there anything that kind of, all of them? Were you able to gain some strategies for you to be able to have a look at to how they've developed, how it's come about, how you can overcome them? Beautiful. And just remember that it is a work in progress. You're creating new habits, you're creating new neural pathways, and so it doesn't happen overnight. So just the awareness and go, oh shit, that's happened again. Whoops. Okay, go again. Thanks, Leanne. Amazing. So yeah, start to just be aware. Get curious with yourself. Find out what your whys are. Find out where you want to go, who you want to be, what goals you want to achieve. That's a good starting point. Because then you can to live consciously. I have so many notes to read over tonight. Excellent. I love that you took notes. We have so much awareness then in ourselves and our actions and stuff that we can then just, start to make some changes. 2 millimeter shifts. We don't have to go from here to here in a short amount of time. Does anyone have any questions? No. Okay. It's really, really interesting work doing work with the ego. It's like I said, it's one of our best teachers, and when you understand how it shows up in your life, it is one of our biggest sabotages. But it's also one of the best ways that we can realize how we get in our own way, so that we can make those changes. And so, yeah, even if you wanted to reach out and we do the ego exercise so that you know what it looks like for you, quite happy to do that too, because I love working with that sort of stuff. So thank you so much for turning up. Amazing. Have to get another call in a few minutes. Yep, beautiful. Thank you so much, Lisa. Thanks, Leanne, Lisa, Tracy, and little Angie came on at the last minute. Thank you so much. Please, if you have any questions or anything, if you're in my group, it'd be really cool if you could put in a key takeaway, perhaps. If there was anything that you really enjoyed or got out of tonight, that would be amazing. Just for my own feedback, is awesome. So thank you so much. Have an amazing night. And I love the fact that it was 90 minutes, Leanne. Woo! With tech issues. I nailed it. Nice. Reach out whenever you want to. I'm always here. So take care. Love to you all, and have a great rest of your evening. Thank you. Bye.